Oh, he's ready?
What up, bro?
What's up, good brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you, bro. Yes, sir.
What up,
Yes,
bro?
sir.
Honored to meet you, Big G.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Same here.
Man, what's up with you? Cool. What's going on? All right.
Freddie T, that's a Freddie T outfit right there.
Man,
you wear that.
He's fresh.
I'm big now.
You go over there, big dog.
Down there, yes, sir.
Now you wear that. Here's the
Love the
thing, though.
colors.
Fab been slim though.
Yeah.
So he never got swole up. You know, after a while, man, rappers start living good. You know what I'm saying? The boy get thick.
That is true.
Fab stay slim.
Yeah, money will put it on you, man.
You know, hey, steaks sit
Start
totally
eating
different.
Good. You start eating good.
Yeah.
Get a little more time to sit down and chill.
Well, Fab, man, welcome to the show.
What's up, man?
We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thank
you.
for having me, man.
Obviously, a legend here. I played for the Giants in 02 and 03, and you know,
Yeah, that was prime time.
Yeah, anybody who was around here at that time fell in love with hip hop, but obviously,
And
what
it's
you were
crazy
doing-
because music in the times kind of connect that way. When I seen Brady at Ruben's party, he was like, man, '01 boys, I didn't know what he meant because that's kind of the year he came in and like I was just dropping at the same time. So it kind of like, you know, the music always connects to people in their time, you know what I'm saying, or what they doing when they was coming up, what you was listening to when you was working out, what you went,
Right.
especially in the sports world like that. So it definitely, I get exactly what you're saying, like all the guys that was playing in that time, definitely the music connect there.
For me, Keeping It Gangster was one of my favorite tracks. Simply because you drop my name in the bar, hit a chick once and she run it back like Fred Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, that was every game. Man. Every game, they locked in.
And because just back and forth, like you paying attention to what's going on in the sports world at the same time when you writing. So, you know what I mean? Me saying that was just like, oh yeah, nah, this is the guy that's doing it right now. If I say his name, people going to connect instantly to what I'm trying to say, so.
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach cap, pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm finna get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision, I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach cap, pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm finna get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision, I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach cap, pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm finna get me up.
Well, man, welcome to the Pivot, part of Fanatics. Obviously, Fab needs no introduction. Fred Taylor, Ryan Clark, that's Channing Crowder. Pivot fam, thank you for always pivoting with us. I think that's a great place to start, though, Fab. We're talking about '01 and Tom Brady walking up to you, the greatest of all time in our sport, and, you know, saying the '01 boys. But to still be able to have a relevant name, for people to still walk up to you and not just associate you with nostalgia, but with the skill and the ability to stay relevant. How have you been able to adjust to the times and the changes in hip hop and continue to be a name that carries weight?
I think for the most part, I just stay myself and just adapt myself to the things changing. I can't completely change myself to as music changes or as, even down to like style, you know, you still do what's comfortable to you. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some stuff that you're gonna be like, nah, I can't get with that. You know what I mean? When I came in, y'all said, oh, that's a Fred fit, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know who it can associate with, and same for yourself. You'd be like, nah, that may not work for me. You know what I mean? Sometimes you even try it.
Yeah.
And take a shot at it too, you know what I'm saying? And if it ain't comfortable for you, if you ain't, you know what I mean? But that's really it. I just stay me, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the best thing you can do in sports and fashion and rapping and music and whatever you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Be authentic to yourself. I think Fab has been Fab, and you know what I mean? You could look at Fab and connect to that. And somebody told me like, yo, you've been around because there ain't no more Fabs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes certain things you can duplicate, or some people, you know, as you age, you know, somebody younger comes in and fill that same void. But he was like, yo, you just be Fab, and that's what, you know, keeps you Fab. So that's what I just try to do, man. Just do me, man.
What Jay said, you made Jay to make another Jay.
Yeah, right.
But
it's hard
how
to do that.
How would it be different though? If you know '01, we around the same age. You guys by a couple. If '01 Fab was coming out now, you know the game, you adjusted with the game. How different would it be?
Well, it still would be completely different because '01 was still the process of coming out was different, and we didn't have the internet in or social media. But I definitely would take full advantage of social media. I think one of the ways I've been able to stay connected to what is your social media following and how you interact as well. I think you would have to take advantage of that, even that's just coming out, because people, that's how they learn people now.
That's how they digest it,
That's how that's how they digest it. That's how people are taking your personality from. I think people now fall in love with people's personality sometimes before they even get exactly all that they do, or you know what I mean? I think when I look at somebody like in music, if I look at like Cardi B, for instance, I think people fell in love with Cardi B's personality, her humor, her style, her accent, and then was able to receive whatever she gave to them, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's, I would take advantage of that in a way, but I still would be myself in it too. I think social media and the internet and the following sometimes starts having people chase what people want to see or what can entertain people, and sometimes they lose themselves in that too. So I would still, pretty much be myself, and just use the platform to be me.
We definitely living in the fame before the game era. You know what I'm saying? We talk to a lot of young guys, say you got to put the game before the fame and focus on the main thing, right?
Yeah, the perks come with the work.
Right, for sure.
I live with that mentality in my head.
You're an OG in what many might consider a young man's sport, right? But I've never heard or seen you talk down on this age of music. Like you've always adapted, as they say, stay consistent and stayed in your lane. How important is it for you to be that OG where, you can still show love regardless of the facts? So even in sports now, we see like in basketball, it's like the young guys, this era versus that era. And it seems that the OGs ain't really being there. But the young guys do throw shots. But in hip hop, I've never seen you talk down on the music, talk down on the artist or anything like that. How important is it for you to maintain?
I think it's important just to bridge the gap too. I think also times have changed where sometimes the kid and the parent is listening to the same artist, or, like say my teenage son might listen to Drake and I listen to Drake too. So that was a thing that came about in this generation too. I think before that, we didn't really listen to what our parents listened to. It was just a disconnect. Now, there is artists that are more for a certain generation than others, but I came in the game pretty young as well. So I'm sure, the OGs, and I even remember there wasn't a lot of OGs being too supportive or like showing you the way or like, reaching out to you in that sense too, because a lot of the OGs, when I was coming in too, they were still young and trying to be the man too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you was kind of the young guy trying to like come in their lane, or they was just so high up on they horse that they didn't see you.
Yeah.
I didn't take it no way. I just kind of like, just figured I would work my way to where they have to see you, or, maybe in some way your talent is gonna pull them in to see you, you know what I'm saying? So this generation too, it's a line. I think sometimes the communication is not there, you know what I'm saying? We might talk from one angle and they might talk from another angle, so sometimes there's miscommunication. But I think for the most part, it's always been love. We kind of in the same game, and it's just different times. So I've always been acceptive. I got sons who listen to music in different generations. I got a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old, so they even listen to music in different generations and be calling each other music trash or something sometimes, you know what I mean? So everybody's gonna like what they like. I just try to be respectful of it and you know what I mean, always push them forward, always tell them keep going, always congratulate them, you know what I mean? Even if it ain't my cup of tea, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you could hear some music and it's not hating, it's just, I ain't fucking with it, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? But I still congratulate them, you doing your thing, you took yourself out of the hood or whatever environment you came from, and you working and you putting on for you and your family, like I can congratulate you for that, you know?
How much difference does personal accessibility have to do with today's game? Because we didn't really know y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew what it was like to pop the CD in, right? I knew what it was like to watch 106 in Park.
Yeah.
That was truly kind of the only Fabolous I knew, right? Was the music. Whereas to now, like you mentioned, like these dudes can get famous because you connect to the people. You can constantly go on social media and make me like you as a person. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna support your music because of this, right? And you may not have a certain level of skill. And then there are some people whose life you might not identify with, and they might be the coldest rapper right now. You're like, nah, I don't F with dude.
Yeah.
How has the ability for people to feel like they can know the person affected the way artists are, I guess, received based on their skill level?
I think it works in both ways, though. I think some artists are more forward. They show you everything. They wake up with no makeup. They get out the bed. They, walk around in their backyard. And there's some that scale back and don't really show much but their talent or their artistry. And I think it works for each because some people's personality is just not that. I'm still weirded about talking to my phone and
Me too.
You know what I mean? I still don't have that, but I still engage to my comfort level, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what you gotta really do too. I think I'm really more against people doing stuff on social media or the internet or that isn't themselves, you know what I'm saying? And trying to be somebody to appease or make people accept them or make people, you know what I mean? Like there's a thin line really, and a lot of people, you have to get people's attention. So people have to figure out, what can I do to get these people attention? And sometimes that what can I do, it just goes crazy, you know what I'm saying? And people start doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. People start doing stuff that hurt other people. People start to, even pranks sometimes, you know what I mean? You see pranks and sometimes they funny and then sometimes you see a different reaction and be like, cause some people ain't playing like that.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Some people having a bad day and you coming over there saying something to them or hitting them in the head with something in a department store and they like.
You find yourself in a fight.
They back out that fire. You like, oh no, it's a prank.
Kind of like when you said, have you ever been to Benny Hunters without the tricks? Like, hey, not the tricks today, bro.
Yeah. I be joking on that. Like, I'll be on like my social media joking, like, you've been there so many times. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you ain't gotta throw the egg up to the hat today, man. We just want the fried rice and the garlic butter, my brother.
Hey,
like,
the one thing I hate though is when they try to flip a shrimp in my mouth. Say, bro, I'm not finna open my mouth for you to flip a shrimp in it.
That's a free shrimp, though. I ain't ordered that shrimp.
That's a grown man with a spatula.
You gonna open your mouth.
I grab that damn shrimp right here. But that accessibility is famous because, you know what I'm saying, we got followings and all that stuff.
Right.
But being as famous and, man, being in the game as long as you have, that accessibility goes both ways too, because now people can get in contact with you too.
Yeah.
How do you regulate that? Well, I know there's some dudes that over in bed start to hit you with the fab, jump on the track.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you deal with that?
Everybody is accessible now. You know what I'm saying? It's open the door. I guess you gotta just navigate when you turn the lock on the door or, you know what I mean, peek out the peephole or whatever and see who you wanna let in. But everybody has that door. They could knock on your door pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And it's up to you to open the door or not. Sometimes it's you. It's how much you can deal with at a certain point too. Like, you know what I mean? Certain times you more accessible than other times, you know what I'm saying? I'm a person that's kind of like an introvert and an extrovert where I work in a field where I gotta be out and mix with people, but sometimes I gotta duck off, you know what I'm saying? So in my duck off time, I ain't really trying to open the door really, you know what I'm saying? Even down to your phone, just calling sometime, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm more easy to text than call on the phone because I'm in my mental space, I'm just chilling and I just wanna be in that mode. To answer, everybody's accessible at this point, really, you know what I mean? And sometimes people will be like, yo, man, I was hitting you, man, you know what I mean? Everybody has had that moment where somebody's hitting them and you may, even if you ain't had an answer right there at that moment, you know what I'm saying? Is people just know that you're supposed to think like you're supposed to answer them at they call every time, you know what I mean? And it's that's why I said it's on you, man. You gotta turn it off and turn it on at your own discretion, really, you know what I mean?
Did you hear Fanatics are giving away 100 plus profit boosts for the first 5 weeks of football?
Plus, some extra surprises in the app on game day. Plus 20 more tokens across Saturday and Sunday football.
Welcome to the most rewarding sportsbook.
As much as you love hip hop, it seemed that your love for sports, or either sports fashion, either or, is bigger or as equal.
Yeah.
When did that start?
Rap was kind of like a hobby for me at a point, and sports is something I just played every day with my friends. Now, I kind of would say it was a hobby too because I wasn't playing with any interest to become professional.
Right.
And it was just something that I enjoyed playing with my friends. I did play on teams and stuff like that, but it was kind of more in the space of me enjoying the game in a sense. And then, like, I didn't have the knowledge that, like, yo, this is going to take me and my moms and everybody out the hood yet. You know what I'm saying? I was just more like, I was, 9, 10. And it's the same, my son is 9, so I let him play basketball. I push him into different sports just to try it out, just to be fun. But I also know sports represents other things that you learn while playing in sports, even the camaraderie and, I think that's another thing that it did for me, just playing with my friends and having that to bounce off each other, coming out and looking forward to the next day. Even if you lost one day, like, I'm gonna come out tomorrow, I'm winning. That's what I want for my son too, is to just get that feeling, get the all those things outside of just the game that you learn with the game. So I think that's what had me first. And then I think on music in general, it was just, I seen how people connected with music. I would see people playing ball outside, they have music playing. I would see if your mom's is playing cards with her friends, they got music playing. I would see when you go to a barbecue or cookout, there's music playing. So music always kind of was like the soundtrack to the culture around me. And then I just started diving in more and then having certain artists that I would see that I like. You know what I'm saying? My mom's also, she playing, like we just was talking about generation, she playing her generation, generational music, and I'm playing mine over here, but seeing her music versus my music also let me know how to choose and see what was what, you know what I'm saying? Because if you just only have your music, like some of the younger guys today, if you only know your music, that's all you know what I'm saying? If you have a couple different generations of music around you, then you start knowing music, you start knowing what vibes work for what, you know what I'm saying? And then on the fashion side, I think it just came from my environment too. I didn't really have no like high fashion people around me. It was just the streets, and I would see who looked cool in my hood and how they dressed, and the sneaker culture was always a big thing in my hood. Just in black communities, period, man. Getting J's and getting Nikes has always been, something that we, maybe because we didn't have much and that was a symbol of, that was a trophy for you, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's where that came from. But those was the three things that kind of ran parallel in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Sports, music, and fashion is, and to be honest, it wasn't even fashion. It was just like getting fresh and trying to you know what I mean? Trying to look cool for the girls, trying to look cool.
You want to walk outside when your homies see you, where you got them from?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? That pop out where you get you a new pair of kicks. You want to come back to school with your new kid. Like, it was just more than that. I ain't even look at it. Like, I can't even say like I was designer walking out and knew how to really put together everything. It was just more about just representing yourself and looking cool for you know what I'm saying, in your hood. You know
I love what you talked about though, just the cultural parallels though between sports and music, not just hip hop, music in general. And I think those were ways for our culture that we found some peace and we found a getaway from, like you said, not having much, right? Like if you go into the studio, it's an opportunity for you to do something you have a passion about and a skill for, right? The same thing for the football field for me. When I was going through stuff at the crib, whatever it was, if me and the wife was going through something, if my kids were going through something, I'm gonna go do this because this is what I do. And for those 3 hours, nothing can touch me. How have you used music to sort of get you through difficult things in life?
Music has helped me through difficult situations because I don't want to say it was an escape, but it also let me know that I'm gonna get through them in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like I could put on something and be like, all right, this is gonna help me get through it. You know what I'm saying? It was all about, you know, we gonna all go through things and you gotta figure the best way to get through it. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody said to me, I think it was my uncle who said, if you're going through hell, why stop there? You know what I'm saying? So It was just like, that hit me that, all right, we're gonna go through something, but you gotta keep going to get out of it.
Yeah.
So I would look at music as the thing that helped me keep going through it. If you sit sometime in your thoughts, you keep replaying all the things that happen and stuff like that. Whereas I could say, all right, let me put on some music that'll pump you up. Same way music would do that for you in a workout. You know what I'm saying? You don't really always connect it to that because you feel like, yeah, I'm going to work out anyway. But sometimes the music is just pushing you through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes when this been, you know, as me being just starting to work out in the last couple of years, like it's some days you get up and don't want to work out. Like you gotta like figure a way to
soundtrack
push
gets you going.
Yeah, you gotta figure something that, you know what I'm saying? So all right, let me just get into it. So music has always been that for me. Like it might have didn't start the problem, but it helped me get through the problem.
And that crossover is wild. You talk about it. Even with Mitchell and Ness now, we were at Mitchell and Ness and they were talking about how all the rappers and everybody used to go to them to get the jerseys and the throwback stuff and everything like that. And you talking about working out. At some point in an athlete's career, you got to figure out the passion of the game and business gets involved.
Right.
At what point with music, did you have to have that transition where, man, I love this, I'm good at it, everybody loves my songs, but now the labels get involved, now the managers get involved, so you have to be able to walk that line through the passion and now deal with the business.
That's what I do think young artists of today have a little bit more advantage of because the business is now so much in the front of it. Where before, it was just about getting signed, it was just about being a part. That was such a goal that you didn't even really care too much about the business behind it, especially at a young standpoint. Maybe when you got older, or maybe if you had somebody around you who could really tell you like, no, we have to do the business this way. It's the same with certain sports figures I figured in that time too, way back versus now. When you coming in now, there's so much on the table. It's all the talk is about the caps and what, you know what I mean? Like, but that wasn't the conversation 2000, 2001, 99, whatever like that. So the conversation then was just more about the goal, just getting to the league, just getting to, you know what I'm saying, just fulfilling your dreams. And then you came into it and you in there, now you want to perform and be the best you could be at it. So the business was still on the back burner. I see now today, they performing, but business is, and it's also teaching with now the college kids being able to do business in college. That's going to prepare them in that sense too. So it's even going a little bit further. But I think between the times of now to the times before, we weren't really in business. I mean, you know, you sign a contract, you get money, but you didn't have even the outlets of how many ways you can get money then. Now there's so many different things that you gotta have somebody around you that can know business and maneuver you to be able to make what you're supposed to make in certain areas and do this over here. It's just so many, and the same thing with athletes. It's so many different lanes. Before it was, you know, just getting your contract, signing and getting your money.
Yeah.
It was just a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. Now it's 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, don't forget about 7 and 8. You might want to look at 7 and 8 because that's for the future. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like it's a little more
the thing,
to it.
I saw your downloads and your.
Yeah.
The thing that's such a great point that you make though about getting signed. Like I just remember back in the day, the videos of dudes that when they'd sign with somebody, when they'd get whether it was the Rockefeller chain or the chain that went along with whatever record label it was, like that was a big deal.
Yeah.
To be able to wear the symbol around your neck of the record label you belong to was a thing, you know, whether it was, oh, Jay signed me or Dre signed me, like that was a big deal. And that was a thing for us. We got that call to whereas now Caleb Williams is negotiating his contract based on, hey, can you send the money to my LLC so I don't get taxed on it?
Right.
Right. It's a different conversation.
It's plays now that wasn't even a thought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like and if that door opens, then you know what I mean. It opens another door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna say, "Well, can I get mine in Bitcoin?" Because you know what I mean. It's just gonna keep continuing to grow.
OBJ.
Signing bonus.
It's a different level of knowledge though. Like people, you know, Freddie T can tell the story better than me, but you know, he had an agent that did a certain thing to him from a money standpoint. And so he took the responsibility, let me educate the next group of people.
That's a fact.
Right? For you in the game, do you feel a responsibility to that as well? To being able to, because you talked about the accessibility, if there's a young guy you can get close to, or if there's a rapper that you see up and coming, how are you about offering information and communication if that's something they want from you in order to grow?
I've been doing it all the time, whether maybe it wasn't like, you know, publicized or made like a social media thing, but you know, a lot of artists come and sit down with me. I've had guys come and sit to me about management, talking to me about how to, everything from pick a manager to how do you deal with management to my manager was stealing money from me to, you know, I've had guys who came to me and wanted to use my studio and be like, yo, I want to record here. And then, you know, towards the end of the night, like, yo, I got some problems at home. Is it cool if I stay? Yeah, post up. You know what I'm saying? I know how that be. I know, you know what I mean? It might be you need to let the air stick at home.
Before you
need
go
to
back
let it, before you go back there. So, you know what I mean? It's been different levels of all type of, whether it's advice, whether it's trying to steer them in the right direction, whether it's them bouncing stuff off me sometimes. Sometimes, you know, even as men, sometimes if you need help, you don't know if you should ask certain people for help, whether it's just like you don't want people in your business, you don't want to be vulnerable to somebody that isn't, you know what I mean? But sometimes people need to speak to people outside of their own circle sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes people don't know if they can, but I always, you know, especially to the younger artists coming up, because I know I've been through a lot of those situations myself. Sometimes I didn't have somebody to bounce the stuff off with and I had to just figure it out myself. But, you know, having somebody that you could bounce those things off, or somebody telling you, yo, all right, let me check into that for you, or yo, that situation, this is what I did. And maybe, you know what I mean? Everybody's situation is different too. Somebody might handle theirs completely different from where but you giving them just some insight can help their decision as well too. So I always do that, man. I always, like I said, a lot of times it'd be more direct and not like a public moment.
Right.
But a lot of artists have came to me from all different ways. You know what I'm saying? Trying to.
When I think of you and how nice you are, I kind of line it up with Jay, another Brooklyn rapper. What more can I say, right? You never seen a nigga as good for this long. And then on the back end, right before he says, fuck this, we'll see what happens when I no longer exist.
Yeah.
Do you think the game appreciate Fabolous, man? Because I believe you are probably the most underrated rapper,
Man.
at least in the last, since you came out.
I think the game, everybody that's in it, right? They have their place, their time, what they do. Sometimes I don't think everybody may recognize it on a grand scheme, but when I connect with, even from you giving me flowers, or if I connect with somebody, if I connect with one of the young guys and they give me, I can accept them flowers and be appreciative of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to have, you know, there is certain times where I do get, you know, abroad, but I could take one-on-ones, I could take people being in my DMs saying, yo, man, you helped me out with this song kept me going, whatever way that God has put me here to connect to people is cool. So I don't never look at it as and it's also all part of the journey. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's more for me to do at some point that I haven't did that'll get, you know me, and get you the bigger bouquet of flowers. But every flower I get I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative of all the love I get.
During the pandemic, I personally was hoping that we would get a Fabolous and Jadakiss versus. That's just me. Who would your idea versus be?
We did. Me and Kiss did one.
Yeah, they did one.
They did?
Yeah,
Hold
we
on.
did one. We did
What was
it was
I-
kind of
hold on,
still
bro.
like at the very beginning
It,
of it,
it was before
they
they started
did.
publicizing
got-
it.
Yeah,
They-
it
they
was
got
before
it.
it was still kind of the phone
catch
one,
that.
so it was different.
Okay.
You know, it was a different situation. But even down to that, me and Kiss, man, it was like more of a friendly versus for me because me and Kiss,
It's
not
respect.
to say that anybody's is like war or whatever, but like me and Kiss are guys who hang out, who talk, who kick it. You know what I'm saying? So we get put in those situations. We just have have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy it. To be honest, it was hard for me to be super competitive against Kiss because one, he's a friend of mine, and two, Kiss came in the game a couple years before me.
So
you know what I
nice,
mean?
though.
So I was like a fan of Kiss coming in as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I know people kind of associate us kind of in the same class, but in a high school way, Kiss would have been a senior. I was like either a freshman or so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was a freshman at the point. So I was like tuned into Kiss and he was one of my favorites as well. So now like, you know, seeing people kind of like align us kind of together, it's a cool thing to me because this is like somebody that I grew up also listening to as well.
It was that Jeezy and Gucci. I'm
Oh,
an
yeah.
Atlanta dude.
Yeah.
That was an ugly one.
Yeah,
But talking about that,
one was a little. But Jeezy, I feel like Jeezy was past it. You know what I mean? The past
sit
past
back.
wasn't it? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you know what I mean? That's why I think he didn't have a problem really doing it. Of course, there's some underlying issues there that you know what I mean
There's more to it.
made it a little different. But I guess people wanted to see them and see how it would work because they're two juggernauts of the Atlanta street culture and music, so people wanted to see that.
Talking about the appreciation of it, it seemed like back in the day when you was young, you was throwing verses to people. Like, hey, jump on the show, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Jump
Yeah,
on the song, I got
for
you.
sure.
So a lot of those top songs, it wasn't just yours.
Yeah.
Did you ever think or look back and be like, damn, I should have dropped that verse on something that was strictly mine, that was just mine?
Nah, I always wanted to spread it around, and I always had a lane too where I could rap on the R&B joints too, and it still wouldn't affect what I did for me. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain people who can't. Like Jay had the record Make Me Better before me, and he was like, "This is a Fab record." You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be cool if I do it, but this is a Fab record because of what Fab is able to do. He's able to be Fab, and then he's able to come over here and rap and talk to the ladies, and it doesn't look weird. It doesn't look like he's doing too much on either side. So I always wanted to, put some stuff here, do some stuff here, do my own thing, try some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think from the beginning, that was one of the things that also connected me to people because you could listen to me in two different worlds, I think, at some points.
Did you ever battle with that perception? Because if you go and think about some of your top songs from a commercial radio standpoint, they are songs with Lil Mo and Tamia and Neo and The Dream, right? There are these songs that have an R&B flavor, and then I'm old, I can admit it, and I was around here running to Jersey City to buy mixtapes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was on everybody, on the Clues, on Who Kids, all those things. And then you get on that, and you're right. You were a totally different rapper. Like the punchlines, the bars were as hard as we had ever heard. But then all the songs that you'd hear, whether you were in the club, you were on the radio, were those R&B songs. Did you ever find a conflict between those two people, or were you always able to live in both worlds comfortably for yourself?
I think I was able to live in it comfortably. I felt like it showed, honestly, both sides of me. I felt like, I came up in the mixtape culture. I came up in the streets. I came up in Brooklyn. I came up in very hard environments and situations. But, I like girls too. I like talking to the girls. I like girls to like me. I like girls, you know what I mean? I like feminine energy when we go out. I want to hang with my boys, but I want some girls around too. So I think it kind of, for me, just ran parallel. And like you say, like certain people would catch one thing and certain people would catch another. The mixtape fans would, you know what I mean? And sometimes I think the only conflict that I got is like mixtape people wanted you to just all be me. I just want all of this. I don't want none of that.
12
Or like,
songs
yo,
of that.
oh yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than that, I felt it was what made me Fab. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what, you know what I mean? And
Did you ever feel like a Big Daddy Kane sort of vibe? So that was my cousin's favorite rapper growing up.
that was my first favorite rapper. Even if I say my five, one of my five faves growing up, they are all in that lane to me. Kane, Jay, Biggie, LL, all of those guys can rap if you really want to rap, and then also could rap, and the ladies is gonna feel it too. So that's kind of what groomed me to my style as well. Like I didn't try to beat any of those guys, but those guys helped groom my style as well.
You said, I think I saw a post of yours that Public Enemy shot a video at the crib. And I
my
know,
hood.
and you know, it made me think about growing up, and I tell this story on here all the time. There was a dope boy in the hood. He like coached all the like little kids basketball teams, and he had the only teams who all their shoes match.
Yeah.
Right. He got them the D Brown pumps at one point.
That's the D-boy fashion.
Right, but you know what I mean? But like I just remember not knowing a ton about how it came about, but being like, when I grow up, I'm gonna get shoes like that. Right? Or I'm gonna dress like that. Or I'm gonna give back to the little homies in the hood in that way. When you see somebody like Public Enemy, who at the time, that was like, there was such a message to it. And then you had Flavor Flav, who was like actually the star. Everybody loved him. What sort of inspiration is that to see people like that come back to the crib or to the hood and not only show love, but show people that environment?
Well, honestly, Public Enemy, like I knew Public Enemy and knew their music, and of course Chuck D and Flavor Flav. But what they did for me coming and shooting a video in my hood that was the first time I ever seen like cameras and somebody shooting in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a really like thing to see, really. Like all the kids were outside, everybody, you know, you watch TV, so you know, in our world, we ain't gonna be on TV. Like this is your chance to be on TV. So it was people hanging out their windows, it was people all on the street, everywhere was flooded. And I think this video was for Spike Lee's movie, Do the Right Thing at the time. And Do the Right Thing was also shot not in my exact hood, but in Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy. So just seeing that and them shooting there too made just a connection to our hood that, like, wow, like this is true. You know, when you watch TV, you don't know where, at that time, you don't know where these people are shooting. It's just something you see on TV. So for them to come to our actual neighborhood and shoot and use us as their backdrop and our texture and to show us was like the first thing of me seeing that it's real and like TV can be a real connected thing to us. Because before that, you know, you're watching TV and it's just sitcoms or whatever you watch at that time and videos, but it's like almost a world that you don't know and you don't see. But now me seeing cameras in my hood and like, you know, it was a sight to see, and it low-key it may have inspired whoever, whether it was me or anybody around. I'm sure it inspired people that day just to see it right there, you know what I mean, and be able to see that it's real.
I know a moment like that can inspire you. Did it inspire you, or what?
It inspired me that that was real. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That I could see something being shot right here and it's real. I had never seen, nowadays, you know, everybody has a camera phone, everybody tapes everything, but in that time, I want to say that was like the early 90s. I had never seen anything, you know what I mean? Like it was just a different time. So you just seeing it was like, oh man, this shit is real. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is, and then when the video comes out, then you seeing it like on TV, like, oh, that's my hood, like on TV. Like, you know what I mean? That hadn't connected for me ever before that. So I always connect Public Enemy and that video to that. And even Spike Lee, you know what I mean? Because Spike Lee used a lot of, you know, the texture of Brooklyn because he was from Brooklyn. So he put that in his movies. So when we go to the movies and watch movies, you seeing that for the first, you know what I'm saying? So I also never underestimate that too for people who are coming up now too. Even when they see, you know, something in your video or whatever, you know, they connect to that instantly too, because that's that's something they know. You know what I mean? Like, I know that block. That's not. I watched Law and Order a couple times and be like, oh, they in New York. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a connectivity there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it really, really did to me. It inspired me because I could see that it's real. It's in a place that, like I said, when you usually watch TV, you don't know where to. Sometimes them is sets. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, Bill Cosby was on set. You know what I mean? Or Martin was on set. I don't know. You know what I mean? But when they go out and you see something that's real and to you, it inspires you in that way.
Oh boy, I guess it's just me here, man. Where my guys at? Let me try Chan.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
That's why he needs new service. I tell him all the time, man. Let me try RC. RC.
Hello.
What's up, baby? Man, I'm glad you answered, man. I've been trying to call you.
I've been on the phone, on hold, trying to cancel my provider because I keep missing calls. Dog, it's been so hard for me to get through.
Oh boy, I told you Mint Mobile was the way to go from the beginning, bro.
Honestly, dog, this is just another reason to switch to Mint Mobile. They make sign up quick and easy for people like me, you, Chan, who are always on the go. Freddie T, I need you to hold it down for us right now and tell the people why switching to Mint Mobile is the way to go.
Freddie, what up, baby? I ain't even see your call, man. You know I got that garbage service.
Hey, man, next time y'all gonna listen to me.
I know, bro. You've been killing me. I know. I need to get Mint Mobile. And there ain't no BS and ain't nothing with them. They gonna be right there with you. I'm gonna call them now, man. I promise.
For all of you out there like my guys RC and Chan with bad service and phone issues, make the easy switch to Mint Mobile.
Everybody should have Mint Mobile. Fred don't never miss a call. Me and RC miss all the calls. We gotta jump on Mint Mobile. I'm gonna do it right now.
I love a great deal as much as the next guy, but I'm not gonna wait on the phone for hours like RC just to save a few bucks. It has to be easy. No hoops, no BS.
And $15 a month when you sign up for 3 months, Mint Mobile got your back. 5G plan, the best in the country, unlimited text, unlimited data.
To get started, go to mintmobile.com/thepivot.
That's mintmobile.com/thepivot. $15 a month, cut your fee. Who don't want to save money?
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers for the first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plans. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
I got my son actually just turned 13.
Mm-hmm.
So from that, and it's funny because I know you through your songs and all, and that,
Right.
you know, that, man, you can go to hell. I'm me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that confidence, but like you're saying, kids don't have that confidence. They can act like it, but they don't.
Right.
And then they go and we even deal with it too, with what
They
we
go to
do when it's
school.
like they're
Yeah.
getting judged by actions and things we say. And I be wanting to go home and be like, bro, tighten up.
Yeah.
But you can't can't just pop his chest and be like, bro, tighten up. You
Everybody
good."
deals with everything differently, man. I learned that through experiences sometime. I was dealing with an artist, and one time I was looking for her social media page, and I couldn't find it. So I texted her, I'm like, yo, I can't find your page. What's your, she was like, I turned my page off for a second. And I was like, what? Because to me, that just sounded crazy because one, you're a new artist, you need as much engagement and attention as you want, and two, just like I said on the thick skin side of it, like I don't let social media affect me that way. But when she explained it to me about how it put her sometimes where she's comparing herself, or she doesn't feel that she's doing as much as she can, or people's negative comments, or you know what I mean, how it affected her, then it caught me. I'm like, well, all right, that makes sense because everybody doesn't process everything the same. I wanted to say like, toughen up, like, you know what I mean? Social media, that's what they do. They talk shit.
Yeah.
But then when I think about how it affects you individually, then I have to say, oh, okay, I see why you might turn it off for a second, you know what I mean? But to me at first, it was the wildest thing in the world. Why would you do that? Why would you know what I mean? We got good traction. People are liking your song. Why would you know what I mean? But on the mental side, you have to do that, and everybody processes everything differently.
Was the artist younger?
Yep.
You got to think about, for us, we grew up inside the home where only the people close to us could touch us enough to tell us what they
Right.
were feeling. Whereas when you actually grow up in the social media age, you grow up feeding off of the likes and the you're the best and all the comments that say you're great, and now you fall apart to them as
Right.
well because it's kind of embedded in your fabric that this is the way we get
starve
love.
you, man.
Correct. Hey Fab, you was a Knicks fan growing up?
Not really. My uncle was a big Knick fan. I was kind of like a Michael Jordan fan, so I guess I was a biased Bulls fan. But my uncle used to hate that the Bulls would beat the Knicks all the time, and I would be like secretly rooting for them on the low. You know what I mean? When I watched the game with him, I couldn't get too excited. One time I was like hype at some kind of dunk or something that Jordan did over the Knicks, and he was just looking. I turned to the side. He was just looking at me like, really? So I was definitely like, but I guess outside of the Bulls and Michael Jordan, though, I always had like hometown pride too, so I always rooted for all of the New York teams against anything else. But I was definitely a big Michael Jordan fan at the time.
So there's no favorite, whether it's your borough, the Nets, or the Knicks. So it's just all love.
Yeah, I try to show both love because, again, the Knicks were, a legendary team squad that always represented New York. Wherever you went, the Knicks were. But then Brooklyn came, and I'm from Brooklyn. I gotta represent Brooklyn.
Right.
Then they was connected with Jay, and they brought me in that fold when I was with Rock Nation. But one of the main things that made me connect with the Nets too is that when they came to Brooklyn, they also tapped in with the community a lot, and I would go to the Barclays and you would see like people maybe that you grew up with, they worked there, they were some boys that I knew who had a shop around the thing. They also said that the Nets tapped in to, connect them. And so I like the way that they didn't just come in to the community with a team and just, slap this big building in here and everything, but they also tapped into the businesses that were around it. They also hired, the staff was a lot of like really Brooklyn people, you know what I'm saying? I would go in there and see people that even if I ain't know them, I seen them or been around them, or the people would talk to me and be like, yo man, I grew up right here. You know what I mean? I could tell that the people were real Brooklyn people or middle people in the city. So I definitely rock with Brooklyn Nets for that.
Do you realize like how important you are to people that love hip hop though? And like the sort of weight the things you've done carry, like the fact that people could like spit bars and they put those bars into situations in their life. Or, I mean, what I thought it was a funny story you told, when Beyonce low-key checked you about a lyric, did it make you feel like, hold on, man, like people really are paying attention to what I say?
I knew people paying attention. I didn't know Beyonce was paying attention. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, and it was kind of like some mixtape underground. It wasn't like I said it in a joint with me and Mary J. Blige and you know what I mean? It was kind of like a mixtape freestyle thing. I'm like, when she said it, I was like, nah, I get it. But I'm in my head, I'm like, who played Beyonce in this shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I had to but it also taught me a lesson too in saying things that you never know who's listening. And sometimes you could say something where you just for me, it was just kind of like, one of them sub-phrases or metaphorically just trying to get my point across or, kind of making her the butt of the joke, and they heard it. And so somebody who hears the butt of the joke and they the butt of the joke, they like, oh shit. So imagine jamming to it and then you hear that line, you're like, oh nah, turn that shit off, man. Turn him off. Now your whole thing of Fab is just like, yeah, nah, I don't listen to that. One of the things from it, and even when I had spoke to Solange, she was like, that was one of the things she said, like you never know who's listening or who is affected by what you're saying. So I took that in an older hip hop artist now, I kept that in mind as I move forward, you know what I'm saying?
And hearing that too.
Before that, I didn't care. I would just say anything that, with the line, you know what I mean? It just, that's how
Honestly though too, I know it's extremely catchy, and from a very, I'll say this, from an immature point of view, it's like, yeah, that's obvious, right? You were saying like nothing's wrong with either option, but if you had the option, where would you go? But also too, when you're dealing with real people trying to make that connection to us, real people have feelings about those things.
And Beyonce even went deeper. I wouldn't share all of the conversation, but she went deeper in that kind of way. Like, you know what I mean? This situations that you don't even know that you're speaking on in that sense. You know what I mean? Which, you know, of course, as an artist, I wasn't. I'm not thinking that deep in the line, but she made me understand it, and you know, I took the lesson from that. You know what I mean? Like when you're saying something, you don't know who you're affected by it when you actually talking about real people. You know what I'm saying? So
Words have power, man.
I got the lesson.
And it's funny, speaking about Beyonce checking you, we'll say that, or signing a deal. You talking about when you're young, you just want to get, man, let me sign my name on the bottom, give me that check. You don't read all them pages in between. I did the same thing with the NFL.
That's what I hired a lawyer for, man. Why I'm reading this shit for? That's what you get paid for.
How much they about to give me tomorrow? Man, give me that check. I'm gonna take it to this Wells Fargo up the road.
Put it in short form.
When did Fabolous know? When did you say? Was it a amount you were trying to make? Was it a person that you were involved with, or somebody that you got in the room with, where you were like, damn, I'm an artist, but I'm very good at this?
Honestly, it was before I got signed and stuff. I could tell by the circle of friends and other upcoming artists that I was rapping around or dealing with, and their reactions and their, like, even when they would talk to me, even sometimes just one-on-one talks. So I was kind of in a group with somebody, and he was just like, nah. He like, I'm playing with it, I'm cool with
You nice.
Nah, you good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that was kind of like the conversations I started getting, like once people could actually associate you with being at a higher level or higher tier, or I guess that can happen in any service of talent. You know what I mean? Like when I watch kids play ball, they could be, you know what I mean? I'll be like, nah, that kid's good. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you see somebody be like, yo, if he keep going, yeah, you know what I mean? Or the potential there, you know what I mean? You'd be like, yo, you know what I mean? So that's where I really first saw it. It was way before cause even when I knew that, I still didn't know if I had any connection to get in the game. At that time, it wasn't like, again, it wasn't no social media stuff. So it was more about who you knew in that time, because you needed a connection to get in the game, to get around somebody, even to get around somebody who was you needed a connection to get to that person. You know what I'm saying? Like you would meet somebody and they'd be like, yo, I could get you to DJ Clue.
Right.
Now, even just getting to DJ Clue, there was still somebody who had to be there to connect that dot. Then when you get to DJ Clue may like you. Now, Clue is the next person to take you to the next level. So it was just those different transitions that your talent could take you to as well. But I think I really realized that I was good at what I was doing from just my peers and the way they would like have those conversations with me. And I'm even happy that I had, because some guys maybe won't even tell you that, or you know what I mean? Like somebody who's your friend is really gonna be like, nah, you know what I mean? I could tell you good, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And your friends are always supportive, but it was the way the conversation, like my boy was kind of like, I'm playing with this shit. Like you need to like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna have a real job.
Wow.
It's like your homeboy you play with in college. He be like, hey, when you get this league money, I'm gonna work in finance.
Right. Hey, Fab, who's your top 5 athletes in any sport?
Top 5 athletes, any
be like-
sport.
Jordan and 4 New York guys.
No, I know Jordan got to be in there one.
Jordan's up there. Jordan's just also kind of like what he represented at the time as well. I definitely think he was a generation shifter. Same with like Iverson. AI was a generation shifter to me. Where he came from, what he overcame. If I roll back, I didn't really get to like live through like a Muhammad Ali era, but when you see the story, when you see the movie, when you see clips of him, his confidence, what he stood for, I would put like between him and Mike Tyson in the boxing era. I would put Michael Jordan in I'm gonna go through a couple of sports. So I would put Michael Jordan in the AI for basketball. I would put Muhammad Ali and Tyson as my guys. Tyson also was a figure that I could see. Again, it always tapped into me something that you could touch that was real. Mike Tyson was from Brooklyn, not only from Brooklyn, but from Brownsville, Brooklyn, which isn't far from Bed-Stuy, but it's rougher than Bed-Stuy. Like, it's notoriously known that Brownsville is one of the roughest parts of Brooklyn. So me seeing somebody like Mike Tyson come from the mud and then just seeing him be that kind of iconic figure, it was something that was real to me. Like, I like to see things like, you know, coming up watching TV in that time, TV was just TV. It was just like, it was almost like not real. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody on there was somebody that when you seen Michael Jackson on TV, Michael Jackson was
Fantasy.
like,
can't do
it
that.
wasn't even real. It was like, you know what I mean? People would faint when they seen Michael Jackson.
He
Like,
still on
Michael
stage.
Jackson had maybe like the biggest star quality that I can ever remember because it was like, it wasn't even real. I remember people said he took off in a rocket launcher pack or something like that. Like, that's what you, like, you know what I mean? Anything that you would say in his, it wouldn't even seem not real because he doesn't even seem real. It's just like, so for sports figures that, like Tyson, who I could connect to and see, like, this is somebody who came from the same walks of life as me, and I try to remember that in the same token with me as well, as being, you know, I was that kid and now I could be that representation for that kid looking like, dang, this is somebody that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And football is tricky. I liked a lot of guys in football, man. I'm trying to see who was those. There was a lot of black quarterbacks. There's many names that I could say all the way from, I want to say even all the way back to like Randall Cunningham to
Randall, Doug Williams.
Yeah. Doug Williams being in the Super Bowl at the time. But that figurehead of a black quarterback, like the quarterback is looked as the leader. You know what I mean? So when I seen a black quarterback, it was something, again, that connectivity of, damn, we could be the like, you know what I mean? Like the focus, the leader, you know what I mean? So without any particular player, but all of those guys, when I seen them in that, from them and how it evolved as well. You know what I'm saying? Seeing from Randall Cunningham and how he inspired, you know, the
Next
Michael
generation,
Vicks
yeah.
and you know what I mean? And it kept going. But just that alone was one of the main connections to football for me. And all of those, that's why I said that one wasn't just a player, it was actually the position kind of too. Player-wise, Jerry Rice and
Hell
Randy
yeah.
Moss, just some guys that had high levels of talent, but at the same time, like you could read them as like solid, real dudes, you know what I'm saying? That's what I like to be able to, like the athletes that I connect to and would put in my top 5 has gotta be guys that I could touch and say that they're real in a sense.
You know what that shows too, though, Freddie T? Like, about the difference in the sports, right? Basketball, there's no helmet, and there's not as many of them. So if you are Michael Jordan and you're that transcendent athletically, but then also culturally, you do what he was able to do, like you become an icon. Allen Iverson, for me, like when I met him, I told him too, I said, bro, like you showed us that it was okay to be who you were. Right? Like that was before cats was getting sleeves and having tats on their necks and cornrows and those things. And like for football though, you did have the helmet on and the organization was always bigger than the player. And I think these guys are starting to change that. The question though I would have for you is, we are never put on the spot, right? Like I know when I had practice, I know when I had a preseason game, I know when I had a football game. For rappers, especially when you were coming up, like being able to freestyle or being able to battle, that was important.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't like, oh, if I could find a melody and if I could ride this beat and if I can get somebody to collab with me, I can make a hit. That wasn't what it was. People wanted you to spit. And I was thinking about you saying somebody connecting you with Clue. He also asked you to rap though.
Right.
Like when you walk into that meeting, are you like, okay, I know he's gonna ask me to rap, so I need to be ready? Or when he asks you, is there like this rush of adrenaline, like this is my time?
I didn't know he was gonna ask me to rap.
Really?
I actually thought I was just going there to meet and maybe kind of like set something up or give him some kind of demo or CD. So when I actually got there, he wanted to put me on the radio to rap. Now I did have something that I had memorized to say just in case that happened. because I just wanted to be prepared. Like I but I didn't know at the time going up there, I really thought I was just going to meet him and maybe pass him something that I had recorded or something like that. I had no idea that, but like you said, you had to be prepared in that time because that was the moment you had to make an impression or not. And your first impression could be your last impression. So I was like, all right, let me just be prepared to spit something just in case I have to, and that's where that led. And I'm glad I was prepared because I wouldn't be sitting here with y'all.
Who was it, Glorilla?
Yeah.
When's the last time somebody just?
Nah,
They don't.
that might have been in the lunch table.
Hey,
or something.
you gotta think though, Chad.
Yeah.
He's so proven. People don't even think like that with him.
They don't need to table real quick.
Yeah. As you get older too, your shit ain't as sharp. Like you gotta like, hold on, let me get it together. All right, I got one. Nah, you know what I mean? Like before, you just was like, you know what I mean? You was ready to go. Like you was ready, and that was the thing of that time, man. I remember even meeting a lot of artists on the come up. Like that was they wanted to do. Like I remember. Man, like it was just part of the culture. Like, you know what I mean? You go down to Philly and you run into Meek Mill. Meek Mill gonna rap to you for 30 minutes straight. Literally, like Meek is not, this is his opportunity. And I remember that even with Philly guys in general, when they used to go to the radio, get a chance to rap, they have 200 bars. They don't got let me get a 16. Oh, you want a 16? They would just start rapping and won't stop. When I met Clue that night too, when he gave me the opportunity to rap, I rapped. And then Noriega was there that night. Noriega was just going solo and had a huge buzz in the streets and everything like that. So I rapped, Noriega rapped, and then I said, hold on, I'm gonna rap again because I don't know when I'm getting this opportunity there again. You know what I'm saying? So once he was like, finish it up, I just came, like if you literally listening to it this day on YouTube or something, I just start rapping right after he like, I just died. It was like just jumping back in the double dutch or something. I just jumped right back in and started going. I take that as part of the hunger too of that time too. Like you was hungry and you needed people to hear you because this is an opportunity that can change your life. When I relate it to sports is when you going to play somewhere and it's scouts there or it's somebody there who could, you know, man, who's that kid? You know what I'm saying? You want to show up, you know what I mean? And that's really what that was. And I don't think it rolled over into this era because now via social media, you can practice it if you want, tape it, put it up. By the time they don't know if it took you 100 times to do it or not, you know what I mean? Whereas before you had to get it on that opportunity was your opportunity in that moment, you know what I mean? I always tell people that opportunity is such a key thing. People like don't always hold it as the end all be all, but opportunity is so great just for you to have that opportunity to do it. There's a lot of people who would love to do something, who have goals and passions and dreams and just don't get the opportunity. So when you have that opportunity, you have to make the most of it and use it. Even if it don't work out, you could walk away saying, yo, I put the most into that opportunity right there. You feel good about yourself. Like, yo, man, I killed that shit. Whether they sign me or not, or whether, you know what I mean, I went out there and balled. Whatever you do, when you get your opportunity, you have to take it. You know what I'm saying? I tell young niggas that all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't miss an opportunity, don't miss it. Don't let it go by and think that, oh yeah, I could do it another time. You know what I'm saying? Just when you get your opportunities, take them. My biggest one was with my son. We went to the All-Star game here in New York. At halftime, you know, the guys came back out shooting around. Steph Curry's there. He seen me. He came say, what's up? Had my son right next to me. He's like, yo, you want to come shoot? And I'm ready, grabbing my phone, getting ready, because I want to get a video of my son shooting with Steph Curry. My son like, nah, I don't want to shoot. I'm like, what? Go shoot the ball, bro. What are you talking about? He like, nah, I ain't shooting. I almost wanted to pull over, but it was just right there in the moment. So I'm just like, yo, what you? I'm like, nah, that's all right, man. So we get back. I'm like, yo, why you didn't want to shoot? He like, yo, I ain't want to miss in front of everybody. I'm like, but you got to shoot to miss. You know what I mean? What if you'd have made it? He's like, yeah, I could have made it. I said, yeah, but in that opportunity, that's the two options. You either going to shoot and make it or shoot and miss it.
But you got to shoot
You know what I'm
it.
saying? So he like, yeah, you right. He said, all right, next time, I'm gonna shoot it next time. I said, when the next time you gonna shoot with Steph Curry? He like, I don't know. I'm like, exactly. That's why you don't let opportunities go. You
I
know
love
what I'm
that.
saying?
I think that's
And to this day, he's never shot with Steph Curry again.
Make a call, fam.
But that's a great life-changing message for him. So he'll never forget that moment.
Right.
So I'll ask this and then we'll wrap. Your biggest pivot in life. Is that one moment that you look back on and say, without this, or moments you look back on and you say, without this happening, I wouldn't be who I am?
If I just didn't tell that Clue story, I would say that was a big pivot for me, man. Because again, I really didn't know that was gonna be the opportunity for me. I didn't know that it would lead to all the things that it's led to.
Right.
I didn't know Clue would like it. I didn't know he would want to go further with me. You know what I mean? There's plenty of people that we all meet, slap, dap, exchange numbers. Yo, I'm gonna get up with you, we gonna do something. And it just never happens.
Yep.
So I would have to say that's one of the pivotal moments in my life because it showed me that that opportunity is one of the key things for me as well. There's a lot of things that were pivotal to me as well that I didn't know until later. Like that story of, meeting Clue and at the same, like at the time, I again just thought it was just meeting him and whatever meeting him was gonna do for me. I didn't know that it would lead to us working together or me being introduced to his platform. And then it still was relying on my talent. The opportunity still was there. I'm like, yo, you still gotta show up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's plenty of people who sign to everybody or every artist, or there's people who make it to the league, or people who make it in the fashion world or whatever. You still have to show up. And that's why that moment is so pivotal to me too, because it was not just the opportunity, but it also was just the opportunity to show up. Right. And you still have to show why you're there, why you're supposed to be there. So.
And why you still here?
Yeah.
We good, yeah.
Before we wrap, man, Mitchell and Ness, this is honestly how this all came about. We had an opportunity to sit with Eli, sit with Taretha, and they were like, yeah, we know Fab. And I was like, well, can I please get some sort of contact? And they did that, and they put us in touch. And man, so pretty much everything here is for you. We set it up. It's all in your size, whatever you want, man.
Mitchell and Ness been taking care of me for a long time.
Yeah, it's just gifts to you, man, for showing love to us and always showing love to them. Like I said, man, for somebody that was here in 02 and 03, definitely a legend to what I know as hip hop.
Thank you.
And so very grateful for you, very grateful for your time. And thanks to the Pivot fam for pivoting with us one more time.
Yep.
Appreciate you, brother.
Let me ask y'all about Mitchell and Ness. During that time where y'all big on jerseys and did y'all?
We just talking about we still got them.
So it happened to me when I got out here though, because I'm from Louisiana, so we weren't really doing it like that, you know what I mean? And so when I got out here though, anytime you went to the city, everybody had one.
Man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the problem was,
Let's think about how it really picked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got
what size was your Mitchell and Ness though?
I
had 3 X's though.
I had 56.
That was like, you going out? All right, throw a jersey on.
The jersey could be down to your knee. Whatever.
And because I'm asking y'all too as sports, because y'all wear jerseys. So then now to go out and wear it, was it still a thing for y'all on that?
But you always try to find that rare one, one that ain't nobody got. And then when I found out Macy's had a cage, I was like, all right, I can go and get 50 of them right now. And you had to get all of them.
Really?
So that's how,
everybody. You.
Yeah.
Jay did
Nelly,
it. They all did
Jay, but all the way from north to south, all the way, the California dudes was wearing them. So you like, man, everybody on TV.
Yo, Rich Paul told me a story of
Matt, where you want the picture?
how he met Bron was because he was wearing a jersey that Bron seen in my video.
Yeah.
And
it was the 33 joint, was it? Which one?
No, because
that was the one Jay had.
joint.
Yeah.
I think I wore it in one of the videos, and he just came. He seen him in the airport and was like, "Yo, man, this way is it?" And to this
look
day,
what they do now.
Is Joanne? They tell the story. It's like, I didn't know what was going on, but this guy
just went out.
bringing boxes of money to us.
You got a favorite one?
Yeah, because it was just a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
That was like some old men would go in there and buy. Hip hop just blew that shit out the water.
3, 2.
Not really grateful though, man. That was
Yeah,
amazing.
for
bro.
sure.
Thank you so much,
Appreciate it,
man.
man.
Thank you so
It
much.
It was a
bro.
little time coming,
All
but we made it
respect.
happen.
Nah, man, I was fired up about it, though.
You got a favorite throwback?
My favorite, damn, what was my favorite? My favorite, I ain't gonna front, when I first started was that Julius Erving
Yeah.
joint.
It's that Sixers, right?
You know what I left out too, man? It came to me after when you was asking a favorite. Walter Payton probably was my favorite football player, my first favorite.
Yeah.
And then between him and Bo Jackson, because Bo Jackson
Did both.
changed the game too.
Yeah.
Like
He did
it was
both.
like a two-sport guy. I was just like, this dude is ill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it also, one thing I was gonna ask y'all too is there's also a side of sports that I hadn't had. Honestly, I didn't have a respect or knowledge of it. I guess because I didn't keep playing ball or keep going, but getting injured.
Right.
Now I'm just as a human, just a human being. You get injured. I started understanding the processes that come with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it gave me a new respect for athletes as well, because when I seen an athlete get injured, outside of it, I would be like, man, they giving you $30 million, man. You better
your ass up.
get it up there. So when I hurt my elbow recently, not only was it just getting back to normal, but it was a mental thing of, can I put too much on it? Can I, you know what I mean? When I look at even the players when I look at Derrick Rose, I'm like, yo, I know he don't want to plant on them knees like that no more because, you know what I mean? So I know it's besides the physical part, it's another mental part to it that a lot of people don't even understand.
The bigger piece is too, you know that everything's riding on whether or not you can hold up. Right, Derrick Rose knows that like these knees feed the family, not only my family, but everybody's
Multiple
family.
families.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, cause he had 18 knee surgery. You know what I mean? So imagine 18 times having to rehab and thinking to yourself, if I don't get back to what I was, this could be over.
Bro.
And those are the things that are difficult.
That's the thing that I realized. I like my whole being a sports fan. I never had that knowledge of it. I just used to just watch and be in awe of everybody's great talents and the things they do. I never thought about that side. When people get injured, I'm like, oh man, he got to get back. You know what I mean? I never had that side of it. You know what I'm saying?
I love what you said when you was like, you made it. So everybody want to make it to the league. I didn't get to the league, Then you get to the league. Like you said, you got opportunity.
Right.
Now
Now you
go.
there.
You gotta do it again.
As quick as you got to the league, you'll be right back out of it.
You made one hit. Oh, you starting. Okay.
That's a fact.
Make another hit.
Right.
Do it
That's a
again.
fact.
Do it again. Do it
That's a
again.
fact.
And that's the thing that I think, like you're saying, from both aspects, that's why I'm saying the athlete, entertainer, it's that thing, you got to keep it up.
Fab, did you always know leaving the studio that you had one though? You know what I mean? Like you record it, you listen to it, you walk out, and you're like, that's gonna be the one.
It's tricky because you feel like that 90% of the time.
Okay, yeah.
But it's still, this part is you do your talent, but it's still received. Music still has to be received and liked, and people have to say, oh no, that's the shit. Even if you feel like it's the shit, you can feel like that. You're supposed to go in there and feel like that, but I gotta win the audience over as well. And sports is kind of the same, but it's really like you really out there playing more, and of course it's fanship.
Yeah, but we can score. Like we got a scoreboard.
Right.
Like for you, it's literally I put this CD and I'm like, yeah, that's the one. You're like, that's difficult, man.
Yeah.
But Neo said that. Neo was like one of Neo's biggest songs. He said he left the studio and was like, man, that shit's straight. And everybody like, bro, that's a hit right there.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's definitely that though. Sometimes that it's not really your fave. And people will love this shit, and you just gotta, roll with it too. Yeah. But I seen it from so many different angles, man. Like you gotta just kind of like tap in and give your all to it, and then let it. I seen comedians are able to go to a small comedy club, test their shit out.
Right. Went crazy.
Oh, that one wasn't. That was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I went with Kevin Hart, like a big comedian. He go into the Comedy Cellar here in the city. do 10, 15 minutes, but he can engage from how they laugh or how he should. You know what? I gotta deliver that one a different way. Because it took too long to get to the setup. Like I was, when I saw that, I was like, damn. I wish we got to test the.
Let me give you these 8 bars and see what you think. Hit a hook.
Should I keep going?
Yeah.
The thing with comedy is that once you sell a show, checks in the bank. Because I do comedy. But I be cutting off stuff and be like, yeah, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Ha, ha, ha. Never mind, take that bitch off.
Right.
Yeah.
What you said too, tell them about, like you told us, you'd say a joke and people would really laugh and then they just stop.
The biggest
You
surprise.
could know, you could gauge. That's what I said. Like they could use the way people react to it to get to gauge their performance. You know what I'm saying? So that was the little illest. I'm like, oh shit, you could really like alter your shit with. They could alter their shit with it.
But the end of a joke, so you got to go up there 45. You go up there, you gonna come out the box. You got to come out the box with some hitters. You come out the box, you can kill them. Yum. Everybody fall out. They falling out their chair. Ha 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 ha.
Now they looking back at you.
They looking back at the end of that laugh. Like there's an end of every laugh where it's like, do it again. You come out,
What's a fact?
again. You gotta keep
That's the
throwing.
same thing with performing for an artist because you gotta keep the moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you come out, you do that song that everybody love. All right, as everybody's coming back down. All right, what's next? They still there, like, all right, entertain us again. Get us turned up.
Is it like that city to city? Cause some shit killed in Florida. They ain't do shit in Detroit.
Oh nah, because it's how people
regional.
Digest shit or like what's funny to them, and you know what I mean. With an artist, it's songs. There's certain songs I can play in certain markets that I don't even perform in other ones. You know what I mean? Because it's just the connectivity of it.
The thing about artists that's cool though is when you have that real hit, you don't have to say a word at a concert when it starts. You know what I'm saying? Like there are beats by you that can drop. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
Just the
And
energy.
you can just hold the microphone like this, and
Right.
everybody gonna rap it for you.
That's a fact.
You know? You know what I mean?
And it's certain songs that get more engagement, Burdette, too. Like Reva get people like counting down, and certain other songs, certain people just be bopping. And, you know what I mean? Like it's just certain. So you gotta. That's one thing that I've been able to, like on the comedy side, I see what engages, what makes people put their hands up.
Hold up, limitless, niggas to me, can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, niggas to me, can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.